Okay, let's just pop this up. I'm back into OTS Studio. Again, I'm still using that. What I said was, at this point, I'm not going to try and modify it. But this is a DVD that I've ripped. And what happens when you rip a DVD? You'll end up because of the way this DVD was compiled. I can show it to you here in DVD Decrypt. It has a series of programs. It's kind of difficult to rip some. I didn't want to do that. I've done it now anyway. Some DVDs have a series, like particularly these Ed Sullivan ones. Have a look here. They're broken up into a series of programs, and they don't actually have a root directory that you can actually rip out. But anyway, in saying that, that's what would happen if you imported it from OTS Studio. I won't re-rip it. I'll just open another OTS Studio here just so I can show you how I would go about. There are a couple of ways you can do it. You could just batch file it. Then when you batch file it, you've got to make sure that you've created a directory with inside another directory so that it actually works quite well that way. Now let's say what is the disk that DVD we just did? That's the DVD there, right? And what I did is, because each of the programs, you would have to basically just grab them all, and I'm not going to do that. I've already ripped it, already got it into OTS, and what you do is you import it, and you can either save it, or like in this case, I would add. I went back to the wrong one, didn't it? Defaulting. That's the wrong DVD. That's a lot bit. What you would do is you'd grab all those, grab them all, or you can just, if you just Control A will grab them all, right? Because that's program 1, then add program 2. Now there's no actual right way or wrong way I would say that you have to do here. So we want program 3 and so on for all the individual. Then what you do is you grab all of them and hit import, right? And I don't want to do that right now because I've already got them in there. It would just be redundant. But you can see here. See, it comes up as a VOB file. I'll do one song for you so you can see it. The next one is the Chambers Brothers. That one. Now it was 1968. I'll copy that from there. Oh. Now, if I want to know more about the Chambers Brothers, what genre they are, I'd grab it there and go over to. I've got another copy of Discogs here open. Just paste that. Oh. Okay, I didn't grab the right piece of information. Sometimes when you're copying these lines, they don't always just grab quite right. Click the little cross, get rid of that. Now the best one to look for is the 7-inch, which generally the 7-inch is the one that was released. There's 2 of them there, so it doesn't matter which one. Okay, it's actually funk soul, right? Now, I at the moment I don't have a psychedelic genre. I may go in there and get a little bit more technical later, and all I do is just take out that, and it's given me the two genres that I want it to work with it. But to me, funk and soul for me personally are borderline R&B. So what I normally would do here is I'd go R and B. That gives me that genre. While I'm here, I might as well grab the song title. I'm going to hit this right one day. That's the song title, it's saved. But now we need to edit. If you have a look at the video. And we don't want Ed Sullivan doing his intro to our... I personally don't want it there. So I'm going to come in here and set a cue point. Now, if you want to show... I always do this show all. That's where Ed's talking. So I'd say my cue point's going to be about, my intro point's going to be about there. Now I want to know what that sounds like coming out of another track. So if it comes out of a soft track, I'm not sure if you can hear this or not. It sounds pretty clean to me. Now I've already clicked that show all, it's okay. So I can go to the outro now. And on the end of these, there's a whole lot of talking, usually. And the song looks to be about there. I'll just turn that down a bit so you can still hear me. And I'm picking I've got headphones, so I can't really hear that particularly grand. So, and what they do is on these discs they start to introduce, in this chapter they start to introduce the next artist. I'm going to do my cutout point there, and I'll do my reference point probably there. The reference point's where OTS DJ looks at coming in onto the next track. And I always put a fade in there because it usually gets rid of some of that. Now we want to check that outro. Now do it into a soft song to start with. It was pretty much on cue. We just did it into a hard. A hard is where it comes in with a bang beat. It doesn't sort of come in gently. Beautiful. Okay, I didn't do it properly. Try it one more time. Yeah, this is so you can actually set up how one track will go into the next track. Now you can do this on audio too, not just video. What we're going to do is we're going to click on there. It's asking me if I'm happy with those. At this point I'm happy with them. I might have to go in there and manipulate them slightly. Now you got a bit of a flicker when that came on then. Now we got rid of when we went back to the true start, which is that. I just want to have a look at what the end, always have a look at the end. Now just say for instance I wasn't happy with the cue point for the video. I can come in here, I can actually set the first frame. And I can scroll back through it. But my audio trim point should have given me the right frame. She might have been a little bit quick on my audio there because I'm not bothered whether I have that title there or not. That to me is a little bit redundant because I was just going to throw it up anyway. Now I'm happy with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file. I'll tell you what else I do here. I'm going to aid in the artist separation. Now Tommy James has done solo tracks. Now I might, before I do that, what I'll do is I'll pull this next track in, which is the Beach Boys. This kind of fortunate, this DVD I've been waiting in the mail probably for about 2 to 3 weeks. It's one of the last of the Ed Sullivan ones I'm after. We'll capture that whole piece. I want to know a little. I want to know everything I can about this particular track. Okay, I didn't grab that properly. The more information you can have, the better you can make your genres and release information work for you. There's the 7-inch single of it. Now it's just pop rock. Now if you wanted, you could add a vocal genre, but I mean, there's 68 categories. The first 4 or 5 of them, depending how old you go with your videos. If you're only going back a couple of years, a couple of decades, let's say 2, maybe 3 categories that you've used up. You have a maximum of 64 categories. Okay, what in that copy? I've noticed this is a bit of a pain. No matter where you go, where it's a link, sometimes it may not copy. And if you're having problems with it, pull up your notepad. We'll just get a new notepad. This looks a bit dodgy, that one there. You'll find it actually pastes here quite well. It's just the transfer of the data type. Now, it's transferred there perfectly fine. And again, we'll go back to here. Go back to this one. It's a bit grab the date there. This is the actual release date of the track. I did have a friend one time say to me, "Why don't you put the release date of the DVD?" Well, the DVD that's cool. Yeah, I think this DVD was produced in 2002. So, excuse me, all my Beach Boys and oldies would be coming up in the wrong decade. And I'm a little bit particular about that sort of thing. Now, just make sure you block on there, select all. You don't want to leave part of that there. Now that's another one we've done there. Now, I don't think I'd want to be hearing good old Ed every time I listen to a track, so we're going to try and eliminate. And he does introduce some songs wrong at times. That there looks to me is where that track actually comes in. Now I want to see the other end. Actually, I'll show you, just double check this, because if I don't sort of do it twice, somebody will say you didn't do it. Okay, we know that the hard sounds reasonably okay. It's probably sounding real rubbish through this microphone. Now we'll do a show, go to the back end of the song. Now I'm going to pick my outro reference point right on the edge of that there. And it'll be a really quick fade out. Real quick, you watch this. Now we just check it. It's going to go from the Beach Boys into a soft track. But you've got to remember these are hypotheticals just so we can do our cue points. Okay, I'm not happy with that. I'm going to set my trim point. Can I set my... no, it's too deep in there. Now, let's see if I can get the reference point closer. I'm going to have to trim it. I'll trim it to there. Set a reference point. Now you're going to... this is up to you how accurate you want to do it, you know. I don't think the odd millisecond is going to be that imperative. But we are listening to it here because I'm a little bit pedantic about how tracks flow from one to another. That sounded reasonably okay. We'll do it with a hard. Like I say, you can do this with your audio, just straight audio music. That part is exactly the same. Oh, okay. I'm going to modify that because I don't like it. I'm going to find... I'll end up with a frozen frame here for a minute. Where's the first frame? Look, that's worthwhile. This frame will be frozen. I mean, I could go back to that there. Make it my first frame, and it would free. You'll see it when I do it. Set as the first frame. All right. Now, you can do your aspect ratio is pretty much standard. You really don't have a lot to do with it. Now, occasionally I just make sure it's full delays to double check all these. You don't have to. In most cases, OTS is that good in its studio that it will correct that sort of thing. It's the it's just here that I'm more concerned. See, it's frozen frame for just a couple of beats. That's not a big deal unless you're sitting there just glaring at the television. You're not, or at the output. You're not going to even notice that. I'll turn that down again. Get rid of that. Now I'm going to save it again. I like to save everything as I go. But I do need to show you a couple of, I'll do this last track. Unfortunately, I've got a pair of headphones on, which means that I'm not hearing this particularly grand. I won't do these artist modifications till I get to the end of this. I want to sort of show you some things here. Why I do it. We'll grab the title from there. Always select all because it wipes out the entire Bob file name. We know it's 19, well, I'm pretty sure it's 1968. Either that or Ed Sullivan's telling lies. Well, I don't think he would probably be doing that. What we're going to do is we'll go back up to here. That one. And I didn't copy it properly. I think why it doesn't copy it properly because it's actually a link. There's the 7-inch. The 7-inch is the original vinyl, so it's 1960. So it's pop rock. We've already got that down here in a notepad, so I can just copy that. Now, I haven't decided yet. I need to go back and then decide whether these are classic rock. I'll go through and do that later. This is not important to you to what we're doing at the moment. It's only important as much as. So it is 1968. You look down here, you've got all the information about the single. I mean, if you were doing this song and say OTS AVDJ, I would say grab that, right click it, save it somewhere, and that way you've got a little sleeve for that particular song. You can actually have, every song can have its own sleeve. It's kind of cool. And all you do is just, you would go in here, you know, album cover for each song. I have actually done that where I've had a compilation, went through, found every there's one more song at the end of this, isn't it? Sometimes these on these Ed Sullivan shows are just a whole lot of blurb. We're going to go into here. I'm going to put my intro reference right there, and I'll chuck a fade on it. I always find that the soft is actually the best because not the outro on every song is going to be a hard cold finish. I can live with that. Unfortunately, there's no short way I can do this. I'm going to cut that about there. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to cut it about right on that. Put my outro reference point in as far forward as I can stretch it. I don't think I'm missing any song. Any important part of the track. You see, that sounded fine to me. It sounds near enough. I'm not going to sit there and get all pedantic over it. I've never had anybody say to me, "Oh, it sounds bad," you know. Okay, another one where we need to alter the video. Droppers they dissolve sometimes in these shots. You want to go to the next one, there we go. Set as the first frame. And does it work? Let's have a look. We can't complain about that, that's pretty close. It's kind of funny, back in these days they were just experimenting with chroma. And they were obviously putting that up on a blue screen because you're getting a lot of blue tint. Now the last one I think's young Thomas Jones. Well, not young Tom Jones, but Tom Jones. He's still way older than I am. Probably older than most of us. I'm not going to try and type Delilah. I think it was Delilah. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and type Delilah. Probably get the lollipop or something. And we don't want the lollipop. Oops, select all. Paste. Now let's just again just double check over here. Utilise everything you can, it's really good because it's right, it was released on the Decca label. I remember this one, I remember having the vinyl. So technically that's just pop as a genre. Now you can call it whatever you want. You can call it Uncle Woolies ice cream for all I care. It doesn't matter. But just so the only thing I'd suggest is that try to make them relevant to make it easier to do your scheduling. Now I'm dragging this video out a bit long. I'm just going to go back through here. I've done that one, I've done that one, I haven't, yeah, that one's there. They are now, because all that's going to, I'll take that out. It'll automatically add a now we're going to go up to here to tools. We're going to go to clean up artist, right? And it's got rid of all the word "the" out of it, which makes it easier for lots to do its thing. We're going to save it. Then we're going to refresh it. Have a look over here. Now it's just Beach Boys, Chambers Brothers, Gary Puckett and Union Gap, Spanking and Gang. Tom Jones is all that. So all that's perfect. But anyway, that's about all I want to show you on this particular tutorial. This is how to get the best out of studio. It's just I happen to have this DVD arrive in the post this morning. I've been waiting several weeks for it. But I will be doing another one on the studio where it's actually using the CCDB or FreeDB for audio, because I have seen a video out there where the person's actually sitting there typing in everyone that sits there and actually manually types them in. And that, to me, that is sort of a redundant thing when I can go click, if I'm downloading, importing a CD, sorry, not a DVD. Unfortunately, DVDs don't have that sort of, they don't have a CCDB, like a database for a DVD, like they do for a CD. Yeah, but I mean, okay, there's only 6 tracks in here, but you take some some CDs that have got up to 20 odd tracks on it. You're spending a lot of time, and you are leaving the door open for a lot of error. You might only have to spell Eagles wrong once in that whole thing if you're doing an Eagles CD. And mind you, how you could get around that, if you were doing an Eagles CD, you'd go to here, type it in once, but it's sort of redundant when you use FreeDB or any of those sort of programs, those links, that this will automatically populate for you, and that's what we want to try and achieve. We want to get the best to make it easy to work. Anyway, that's all it is for this particular video. I haven't even categorized those yet because, well, categorizing them is as easy as doing this, right? But I'm going to say clone. Always hit clone because you might have another copy of it in there somewhere, particularly with videos, because videos are pretty. Okay, if you have a look, there's our categories, right? So the decade is also a category. So you've actually got 64 categories you can play with. So don't go populating with a whole lot of unnecessary information. Now, if any of those tracks had been in the 70s, we would have had 70s here. Now, I'm not going to hit refresh on it because I'm still working on the disc. Anyway, that is that one. That's the principle of that.